Hello everyone and welcome back to NetMastery Zone channel and to the final video of our site-to-site VPN series. If you remember in the previous videos that we just create 4 sites, HQ, Site 2, Site 3 and Site 4, and we add this FTD Site 2 and FTD HQ to the FMC and configure the site-to-site VPN between them, and then we manage this FTD locally using FDM, and also configure site-to-site VPN to this, and then we configure this ASAV using ASDM and configure the site-to-site VPN. And now we should be able to ping from our HQ to all these 3 sites. Let's test that. 10.10.1.2.11. This is our site 2 according to the IP address, and let's ping 3.11, and also let's ping 4.11. You can see that now we just able to ping from our HQ site to all these 3 sites. But the problem that we have here, let me lock this lab. Now if you remember, when we add this FTD2 and FTD HQ to FMC, we just create a access control policy, and we give it the default action of network discovery. It means that now everything between these 2 sites are allowed, and they can ping each other any IP address. Now we only have this IP address here, but even if we have another VLAN here with the different IP address, because everything is allowed here, then that IP address may be accessible from the outside, and also that IP address will go to the outside. For solving this problem and actually hardening our FTD, our firewall, we need to create a access control policy, and we allow only the IP address that is required for this. Yes, we create some access network group and add the IP address of here and allow that to the VPN. It's okay, but that IP address is just to encrypt it to between these 2 sites, for example. It's not to allow that. To allow this, we need to have a access control policy. Let's go to our FMC, and let's start with creating an access control policy by clicking on policy and access control. Here in the access control policy, you can see we have a access control policy named main, and if I open that to edit, you can see the default action for this is network discovery. Here you can see at the end say that the default action is the network discovery only. Then it's allow everything. Let's create another access control policy, not a rule. I'm not going to create a rule. Let's cancel this, and let's create a new policy and attach that policy to our FTD. The default action of every policy should be block all traffic. If any traffic fall in the rules, it's okay, then the rule will be applied on that. It's allowed or blocked or anything. But when any the traffic doesn't actually match inside any rule, then it should go to the end and block it. Then let's select the block all traffic as a default action, and let's create a give a name for this. I'm going to name it FTD HQ underscore policy, and here because I want to make sure that when I identify this policy, I should know that these policies belong to FTD HQ. And the default action is block. Here, if there is any other policy and we want this policy be as a child of that policy, then we can select that here Now I don't want to do that. I just this is okay. And let's add the HQFTD to this policy and save it. Here you can see that we receive a message, and it say that the HQFTD is the policy main is already applied to that. And do we want to change this policy to this? Yes, actually this is a default policy, and it's not, it doesn't have all its what do you say, the rule that we need. Because of that, we just detach this and attach the new policy to that. Let's save this configuration, and then let's have some rule to this policy that we created. Okay, here in the next page you can see that we the rule page is opened, and the default action is block all policy, all traffic. Now let's add a rule for this. What we are going to do with this policy, I'm going to attach that and use this rule to VPN. I want to name that VPN because I'm going to allow the traffic between the between the HQ and other sites using this access control policy. Okay, from source inside and destination outside, and then when a traffic goes from inside to outside, then apply this policy. The networks, what network that we are going to allow? HQ network is the source, and these three, site 1, site 2, site 3, and site 4 network are the sites that we are going to allow this HQ to access them. And then we don't have any VLAN user application. We want to have all ports, and we are not going to use any URL here. Then I think it's okay. But in the logging, we can actually allow log here to take a log after beginning and after the end of the connection. We can receive a log for this policy, and also the action for this policy will be allow. Let's save this. Okay, now let's go to our topology. You can see that we apply from inside here to outside. This IP address to all these three IP addresses allowed. But there is a problem here. This is HQ, and it may have some mail server here, some databases, some web servers, and so on. Because of that, the other side may use these services here. And if I apply this policy from inside to outside, only this traffic will be allowed to access these three sites, but these three other sites will not be able to come back to the HQ, because the rule is allowed from inside to outside, not from outside to inside. Because of that, we need to create a reverse of this. Okay, let's create another policy, and I'm not going to edit this. Let's cancel this. Let's create another policy, another rule, and allow this three network to access HQ also from outside. Add a rule. This time the source interface will be interface outside, and the destination will be interface inside, because we are going to allow the other sites to access the HQ site. Let's add the outside as a source zone and the inside as a destination zone. And if we go to the network, now you can see we have we should change our source and destination. This time HQ is the destination because it's going to be accessed from outside, and these three sites will be source sites. And we don't have any of this, and we can also enable logging on this. And let's add this. Okay, it's need a name. Let's name that VPN outside, and also the action should be allowed. Let's add this. Okay, after applying this and deploying this policy, now this FTD will be able to access the other side from inside, and also other side will be allowed to access this FTD. And if you remember, we add a policy main also here in the FTD FTD2, and we don't want to have that all network discovery here. Then let's also create another policy and apply that on this FTD. Then we can deploy all of them together. Let's save this. Okay, our policy is saved. Let's go back to policy and access control again, and create another policy for our FTD site 2. Here, let's create a new policy, and again, let's name that FTD underscore site 2 underscore PO policy. And again, I want to block all traffic that it's not matching this policy, and then let's attach that to FTD2. Save it, and again I received the same message that the main policy, because we only allowed to attach one policy to every FTD device. Let's save this. Okay, it just opened the policy, and now we are allowed here to add rule. Again, same, we want to give access from inside to outside, and also from outside to inside to this. Let's add that inside as a source and outside as a destination. Of course, we can let them any, but I recommend that we should be very specific in the firewall, especially to make sure that our traffic is go through the firewall according our expectation. Then the network, the source network will be site 2, and the destination network will be HQ site. And let's name that VPN again, and the traffic allowed, and the logging we can enable log for to a beginning and the end of the connection. Let's add this, and now we have access from inside to outside. It means that this PC are able to go to HQ, but when HQ try to ping this, it will block in this FTD, because the rule doesn't allow from outside to inside. Let's configure another rule also, and give it access from outside to inside also. Let's name that VPN outside. The action is allowed, and from outside to inside. And network this time is in the reverse. HQ will be the interface in the source, and the site 2 will be the destination. Now HQ is allowed to access the site 2. Let's add this. Let's go to the policy, and let me clear something, that we have a point-to-point VPN between the sites to HQ. We don't have any VPN between these two sites. It means if someone tried to access from site 4 to site 2, it's there is no VPN here, and it cannot access this directly, but we can do some routing or some other manipulation in the route and configuration, and then this site can go to the HQ and go to the site 2, but it's not in our lab now. Maybe later we can do this kind of configuration. Okay, now from inside to outside, from outside to inside, you can see the HQ site are able to access site 2, and the connection is allowed. Let's save this and deploy this configuration. Then we can test our connection to make sure that everything is okay and working. Okay, our configuration is saved. Okay, let's now deploy our policies that we created before. Then we will test our connection here, the VPN connection, to make sure that everything is working correct. Okay, let's apply that on the FTD2 and also on the FTD-HQ, both of them. Deploy it and deploy. It will take some time to complete the deployment. After this deployment is completed, let's go to our lab and run some test, some ping to other side and also from other side to the HQ to make sure that all the VPN from both sides is open and ready to use. Okay, the deployment is completed. Now let's go to our lab and try to start some testing and make sure that everything is working according to our expectation. I think yes, we have another interface here. Let's ping to site 4. Here you can see we are able to ping site 4. Let's ping site 3. And site 3 is also available and the traffic is going on. And let's ping site 2. Okay, site 2 is also available and it's working. Now let's try in reverse, ping from site 2 to HQ. Let's ping it, but before ping, let me make sure what is the IP address of this. It is 10.1.1.12. 10.1 and 10.10.1.12. Yes, you can see that I'm able to ping from VPC2 site 2, and let's try it from VPC3 10.10.1.12, and also I'm able to ping, and if I try from this side also it should works 10.10.1.12, and all the VPN from both sides is working, and there is no problem here. The good thing about this our policy that we apply here now, we just allow the specific traffic to go and back to our HQ sites. It means if anyone comes here in the internet and try to ping to our sites and pretend that an IP address and try to access inside of our HQ, it will not be allowed. And one thing more that I'm going to show you, for example, let's site 2 wants to access the internet independently without any interference with the HQ, then of course it will goes through the FTD to internet and access the internet. And also for HQ same, if the HQ site wants to access the internet, not any of these sites, then it should also be allowed. Here in the HQ I have another PC that is Windows 10, and I think I can test from HQ. It's much better because the PC is already available here. Here I don't have any real Windows or real Linux to access the internet, but with this PC I can access the internet here. Okay, let's turn it on. Then I will remote access to this PC and try to access the internet. But before accessing internet, actually let me see, it's not started. Okay, it's started, and now if I try to access, because we don't have any NAT here, then the traffic will be dropped here because there is no NAT, and the private IP is not allowed to go to the public IP addresses. Then first of all we need to apply a NAT policy in this FTDHQ, and then we can access the internet. Okay, let's go to our FMC, and let's go to the policy, and here in the device, then here we have a NAT option. Let's select NAT, and now we should create a NAT policy here to NAT the private IP address from inside to the outside to internet. And in the NAT, I'm just going to use a very simple NAT. I'm not going to make it very complicated. It's not about NAT, it's about access control list, just a static NAT to access the internet from this Windows. Let's speak more about this. For example, if this website now try to access to the internet according to the policy that we created here, the inside to outside is only allowed if the IP address is IP address inside, and the destination IP address is one of these outside sites. It means if I try to access, for example, 8888, even with the NAT, the traffic will drop here, because this access control policy doesn't allow anyone to go outside. Let me see if, okay, when I turn on the PC, it takes much longer time to go to the different options. Let's wait for this and then we'll continue. Okay, the NAT, it comes here, and let's create a new threat defense NAT, and let's name it just NAT or NAT to internet, and let's add a policy to one of this device. I want to go to add that to HQFTD, and now let's save this. Okay, the NAT is created, and it's exactly like the access control policy. We need to have to add the rule to this NAT. Okay, I'm going to use the auto NAT, and the type of the NAT is a static NAT. The source IP address, of course, the HQ website IP address, and the original port TCP is okay, and translated source, I'm going to translate that to the interface IP address. And here in the interfaces object, let's NAT from inside to outside to the destination. And one thing more, when I apply this NAT, our VPN will be dropped, because now we have a NAT from inside to outside, and the IP address will change. We need to go to our VPN and also exempt this interface inside from NAT in the site-to-site VPN configuration. Okay, from inside to outside, and then original source is HQ, it's object network 10.10.1.0/24 to the destination IP address, and that is the interface outside. Let's save this. Okay, the rule is added. Let's save this, and then we can deploy this NAT policy to our FTD. But before deployment, let's also manipulate the access control policy that we created before and allow some traffic from inside to go to the outside. Okay, configuration is saved. Let's go to the policy and access control policy, and do some changes in the our policy that is connected to the FMC HQ to allow inside IP address to access internet. Okay, this is the FTD HQ policy. The good thing about this that we give a very relevant name to that, and now we can easily identify them. Let's go to edit. Okay, now let's add another rule for this. The one thing that I should say about this policy, you can see it's 1, 2, and when I add another one, it goes to the 3, and also we can just change the place of this, and the policy goes from up to down. For example, first it check this one, and if it's matching this, then it will act according to this rule, and if it doesn't match in this, it will go to the next rule and check the other rule, and if it's match, then it will act according that, and then it will go to the next one if it doesn't match, and so on. And at the end, if it doesn't match to any of this policy here, it will goes to the default action, and it will block the traffic. Now if we try to access the internet, of course it doesn't match in this one, and also it doesn't match in this one also, then it will go to the default and block all traffic. Then we need to have a rule for this to allow the access to the internet. Okay, in the rule, let's give access from inside to the destination zone of outside, and the network that we are going to give access, for example the HQ range wants to access the internet. The internet is any, because it's very big and we don't know which IP address actually is there, and we don't have any VLAN, user, application, port, but in the URL of course we can manipulate this URL also. You can see that we have a different URL category here, and we can allow, for example, for certain category of this list here. For example, here, let's first of all, let me give a name for this, and name it internet, and let's name that internet block, because I'm going to block traffic, and I'm going to use the interactive block with reset. What is different between these two? Allow, trust, monitor. This tree will allow the traffic, and block will block the traffic, and it doesn't give any message. Block with reset, of course, will block the traffic and reset the connection. And interactive block, it will block the traffic, but it gives the option. You can click on that option and it will continue and show the website. For example, we can give a message: this website is not allowed to use in the HQ site, but if you want to use that in your own risk, then you can continue. And this one is interactive block with reset. This will give me a message, and also the reset the connection and doesn't let anyone to access. I want to give a block, and I want to block the adult website, and this is the reputation. Also in this category, it has 5 different category also, and we can, for example, some of these websites are trusted, forbidden, or natural, or any. I want to just block everything, any of this adult website, and let's also block, for example, gambling, for example, games. And let's block social media maybe, or also you can see phishing here, the pornography, and let's go and find some social media also. Social networking, let me see. Social networking, and I want to block this one also. And also, if there is any other URL that you want to block, and maybe you don't know it belong to which of this category, or even it's not in any category, and so on, then you can enter that here and add it to this list. Okay, let's add this. Okay, this rule is added, and now if someone tried to access, it doesn't match in this one. For example, someone wants to access the Google, and also doesn't match in this one, and also doesn't match in this one, then it will go to the default action and block it. It means that now if I save and deploy this, it will block all traffic to the internet, because we don't have any allow list here. Let's add another rule, and this time I want to allow access to everything. Let's name that internet allow, and the action I'm going to select here is allow, and then let's from inside to outside, and the network, I want to give the access to HQ as a source and destination any. This time I don't have any category here. I want to let it any category is actually is allowed here. And here in this option, if you see, we can add this rule to below rule 3, and it means here, but we can of course change it, or after we save we can actually change these places here. And this one is a time range. We can give a time range here. For example, gaming is allowed after 6 o'clock, and then after the official times of the office, then maybe people are allowed to play some games and so on. And let's add this. Now let's see our policy again. For example, I'm going to access the Google. In this one doesn't match, go to the next one, doesn't match, going to this one doesn't match, and if it comes to this one, it matches and it's allowed. And if someone tried to access a gambling site, this one doesn't match, and in rule 3 it's match as a gambling site, and it's interactive block with reset. It will block it and reset the connection and doesn't allow the user to access it, and it doesn't go to the next line to allow this gambling website, for example. And now let's save it, and after saving, let's deploy this policy to our FTD HQ. And deploy. Now let's wait for this to finish, and then we will go to our PC and check if we are able to access or not. Okay, finally the deployment is completed, and now let's go to our remote desktop PC and try to test our configuration. We test our VPN and it was working, but now I just apply some NATing here in the FMC. I'm probably that will broke our site-to-site VPN, but we can manage that. We can change the our VPN tunnel and exempt the NATing from the inside, then everything will be okay. But for this, actually I'm just going to test the internet filtering that we apply in the policy. First let me check that this PC does have any IP address and DNS configured or not. Yes, the IP address actually is received from the DHCP server, but there is no DNS is configured here. Let's configure a DNS manually here. I'm not going to touch the DHCP server. Just DNS, let's use 8.8.8.8. And now our PC should be connected to the internet. Let's go and check. Okay, first of all, let's check if you have access to Cisco website, cisco.com, and well enough that we have access to the Cisco website. And now let's try to access, for example, we stop using we block using Facebook. Let's see if it's blocked. And also we blocked some shopping like Amazon.com, Amazon. Let's see if we are able to access. You can see that it's not accessible at all, but I had expectation to give me some message here, but as it's virtual and it's not in the real device, I believe it doesn't give me this message. Let me try other websites. For example, let's go to ebay.com. Let's see. You can see the Facebook, and it's just doesn't give me access, and also Amazon just reset the connection, and eBay, and also if I try Instagram and other website, it will be the same. To make sure that everything is blocking and it's according to our expectation, let's go to the analysis in the FMC, and let's check the events. In the events, because we already enable the logging for the end and beginning and the end of the connection, we should be able to see some logs here in the analysis and in the events. It should tell us about this connection, beginning and end of these connections. Okay, now we are in the connection events, and you can see here that we have some log. For example, let's see, this connection is allowed, and okay, eBay is allowed here, and let's go to other pages. We should see some connection is blocked by this access control policy, and Facebook, Amazon, and so on. Okay, you can see here that we have an interactive block with reset, and this is Facebook, and the other websites, most of them are the DNS and also the Microsoft, probably the Windows update. Let's go to another page. You can see that just in some minutes that we have 30 pages of the logs here, 700, more than 700 rows, and that's why we should take care when we are enabling the log, because that takes a lot of information, and of course it has some limit space for the log, and it will delete them after it's full with the log, but still we should take care that we just saving some important logs actually. And you can see interactive block with reset, and this is the Amazon website that we blocked, and also for Facebook same, we have interactive block with the reset. Okay, well enough. I think we finished our series here, and we learn a lot about the FTD, Cisco FTD Firepower Threat Defense, and also other, actually the FMC, how to manage them with the FMC, how to add them to FMC, and also how to manage that locally. And we see that we can use some legacy devices like ASA. I'm not sure it's correct word for that, legacy, because it's still in use, and but some old version of that is now it's out of sale and out of support, but still we can use them for site-to-site VPN, and they are very reliable and very secure devices. Okay, I think we have to finish our video here. Thank you for watching this series, and please follow us for the next videos. Next series that I'm going to speak about the Fortinet, and the most important device of the Fortinet is FortiGate, and we will see that we can do the same site-to-site VPN and some other features in the FortiGate. Okay, let's finish this video here. Thank you for watching. Please give me your question and your comments about the video, and please follow our channel. Thank you for watching, and hope see you in the next videos.